You would have thought that when Game of Death was finally released in 1978 that this would be the cut-off point for Bruceploitation films. In actual fact, it's the opposite. It just carried on going and going, even to the point where Game of Death itself got a sequel. Now, I can understand finishing off an incomplete Bruce Lee movie, but why would you then make a sequel that had absolutely nothing to do with it? Imaginatively entitled Game of Death 2, which was released in 1981, although in some territories it was called the New Game of Death or Tower of Death, but despite the title, there is very, very little connection to the previous film.
Well, apart from the dubbing that is very sort of tacked on and sort of indicates that the character Bobby Lowe is in fact the brother of Billy Lowe from the first film.
He is killed off during the beginning of the movie, leaving Bobby to avenge his brother's death, and seemingly not learning their lesson from the last time, footage of Bruce Lee's actual funeral is once again used here.
In a plot that sounds familiar, Bobby goes to Korea and enters a pagoda where his brother's killers are waiting for him, and one by one he extracts his revenge on them. But instead of going up the floors, this time he's going down into an underground base where he fights a lion, and definitely not a bloke in a cheap ill-fitting suit, and a Chinese version of Fred Flintstone. From there it all gets a bit sci-fi and weird as Bruce has to contend with hazards like acid pits and electrified floors in order to get to his brother's killers.
Game of Death 2 features unused film footage from both Enter the Dragon and the original Game of Death, along with additional scenes filmed to tell the story, and the occasional insert from Bruce's other films. Eventually though, the deleted scenes from Enter the Dragon were actually put back into the film for the uncut special edition on DVD, and the missing fight scene in the greenhouse from Game of Death got put back into the original film for the special edition of that film as well. So, if you were watching Game of Death 2 just for the actual Bruce Lee footage, it's now redundant.
But to be perfectly honest, the fighting is still superb and the premise gets more bonkers as it goes on. It's almost a shame that this got marketed as a sequel to Game of Death, even being packaged together in bundles with other Bruce Lee films. This really should have just been its own thing.